Ndio unataka nini?
Nataka kula na wewe leo tu. Leo tu.
Unataka kufanya nini?
Kulala na wewe leo.
Kulala na mimi? So lala na mimi jana?
Please, leo tu.
Kesho. Wewe enda home, afu kesho tutalala na wewe.
Leo.
Faith Ngina, a former student of Mahiga Girls High School, was found dead at her parents' home in Mahiga location, Nyeri, on Thursday morning on 18th April 2024. She had reportedly been beaten by her stepfather the previous night for having an illicit relationship. Ngina's mother, Christine Mukavi, revealed that her daughter had admitted to using illegal drugs during several confrontations with her in the past. Faith Ngina was dating Newton Kimaru, who goes by the moniker Kim FX, a forex trader on social media. Her mother speculated that Newton could be using drugs because of how he physically appears. Kim adorns dreads, which makes many African parents to have the notion that all the people, especially men who wear dreadlocks, mostly indulge in drugs and substance abuse. In an interview with The Nation, Faith's mom noted that Faith had confessed to being introduced to drugs by his boyfriend, adding that her daughter's behavior had changed and that she was behaving strangely, and some of the behaviors included running away from home a number of times. She added that interventions by family members and a local pastor had proved futile. Faith Ngina's boyfriend narrated that Faith was being mistreated at home by his mother and stepdad. Newton narrated that on one occasion, Ngina went home only to find her clothes thrown outside by her parents. This attributed to Ngina's feeling safe in Newton, her boyfriend's company, therefore explaining the many times she ran away from home in order to seek refuge and sleep over in his house, which bred rage from her parents. The parents at one occasion also summoned a pastor to prevent Ngina from continuing with her relationship, stating that she had become a rebel and could probably be having some mental issues, which prompted her parents not to listen to her, and her parents had sought to take her in a mental hospital, according to her boyfriend Newton. Her boyfriend narrates how a few days before her tragic death, he had received a distress call from Ngina telling her to go and meet her near her home. Newton headed there only to find Ngina lying on some grass with her clothes full of mud and looking very swollen. She had been badly beaten by her parents to the point that she could not even walk properly. She had complained to her boyfriend Newton that she had headaches attributed to the beatings, and she received several beatings from her parents. She was in pain and she asked her boyfriend to bring her painkillers and help her clean up the mud. This made her confide in her boyfriend in a number of times and let her know that she had been living with abusive and toxic parents for the longest time, and that she did not wish to return to her parents because it would cause her more pain and suffering. The boyfriend also mentioned that Faith had clot-like appearance in her head and she had lots of swelling subject to those beatings. He described Faith Ngina to having some green-like appearance on her body, which showed the intensity of the beatings. Faith Ngina was a brilliant girl, and from the videos posted on TikTok, you could tell that she was a very vibrant and brilliant girl who was full of life. She was a young girl with a very bright future ahead. Newton describes Faith Ngina as an obedient and very quiet girl who would oblige anytime anyone needed her to oblige. Faith seemed to lack peace at home since her parents discovered about her illicit affair with Newton, which saw her receive beatings on a regular. Her mother was never comfortable with the fact that her daughter was in a relationship with a man at her age. She probably felt that she was too young for that, and that was okay because no parent wants their child to fail in life. In an undated video on TikTok, Faith is seen begging Newton not to allow her to go home for unspecified reasons, obviously because if she went home, she would receive proper beating for being in a relationship with a man.
Ndio unataka nini?
Nataka kula na wewe leo tu. Baby leo tu.
Unataka kufanya nini?
Kulala na wewe leo.
Kulala na mimi? So lala na mimi jana?
Please leo tu.
Kesho. Wewe enda home afu kesho tutalala na wewe.
Leo.
At some point, her mother took away her phone in order to cut the communication between the two, but that did not stop Faith and Newton from having an affair. On that fateful day, when Ngina was involved in a physical altercation with her father, she had been missing for a day. Apparently, her mother had lastly seen her on Tuesday, April 16th evening, 2024. She had asked her to boil water for her two young siblings and bathe them as she went to attend to her kiosk business. Faith's mother returned home to find the children alone and unsupervised. The children claimed that Ngina had gone to fetch firewood to boil the water for their bath. Miss Mukavi said the children were being bathed ahead of a planned trip to her mother's home in Makueni County the following day. Her husband went to look for Ngina the next day and they returned at 8 p.m. that night. Newton narrated that her father gave her a blow that had her sprawling on the ground. Faith Ngina had a medical history with health problems attributed to a head surgery which she had undergone while she was young. It is alleged that Faith tried to beg his father to stop beating her to no avail. Newton witnessed Faith getting battered by her father in his sight, and he had no other choice other than to let her go since it is her parents who had come for her. Faith pleaded with Newton to ask her parents to leave her alone, but her parents were too angry to listen to her, and he watched as they took Faith home. That was the last time when Newton saw Faith alive. It is alleged that Miss Mukavi, Faith's mom, had traveled up country during that fateful night of Faith's death, and her husband later called her and told her that Faith had not woken up that morning. Detectives took samples from Ngina's body for toxicology, which are being analyzed to determine the cause of death of Faith Ngina. The test will determine whether she had consumed any intoxicated substances before her death. A post-mortem examination has also been conducted to shed light on the circumstances surrounding Ngina's death, including evidence of physical injuries, underlying medical conditions, pregnancy, and or other possible presence of intoxicants in her system. It is alleged that his stepfather had beaten her to death using coffee branches, leading to her untimely death. Ngina had scored a mean grade of B plane in last year's KCSE exam and was to enroll at the university in September. Her family had hoped she would pursue a career in the medical field. Ngina was to turn 19 years in May 12, 2024. Faith Ngina was buried in May in a solemn burial ceremony in Mahiga, Nyeri County. We pray that Faith gets justice and may she rest in peace. As I come to the end, I'll share my sentiments on Faith's story. Parents should find a better way to administer discipline to their kids, and they should correct them with love. And corporal punishment is not the only way out. Let's be more empathetic to our kids. They just need a little more love. I have been your host, Lily's Rams. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.